Hi stream. Hi guys, welcome. Thank you for watching. We're doing another stream. It's about to go down. See if we get some good lighting in here. Is that better? Like a little bit? Okay, great. Hi guys, I hope you are having a good night. I am about to draw right now. I do have a little concept in mind, which is exciting. I don't know what this drawing will be used for, just for shits and gigs. I was working on this drawing before. It's a little bit random, but that's what we're working on before. But we're going to start a new one, just because it is, you know, stream draw. That's our challenge day. Stream draw. Actually, might while I'm doing this, make a little TikTok. Each drawing, I make a little TikTok. Honestly, sorry, I'm doing my throat. I'm gonna put one of my stickers at. You can get these at Zhuge official _ on my little book. I keep it in my special little sticker box. Because you know why? Because why the fuck not? You know? Why the fuck wouldn't I want to put one of my fucking stickers on my fucking book? Right? Fucking period. And we're on. Beautiful. Look at that shine. It's holographic. At Zhuge official _ Beautiful. Stunning. Cute. I love that. Alright. Just wanted to my TikTok, but that looks so good. Now I'm just gonna find this one. Don't tell me you could be blind. Okay, this one will do. That was weak. Weak again. The concentration face is real for the TikTok, guys. You know what I'm saying? Alright, this is it. This is the shot. Bro, it's like, why is it like slow on the delay? Like, what's going on? Like, it's not that hard. Alright. See, something like that, but I feel like, bro, that was too short. Move that the fucking way. Move that the fucking way. Little jelly beans in here. Yeah, cute. Full concentration. Alright, get to it, girl. And then it doesn't, like, let me show it. Like, I mean, it doesn't show it to me. That's just gonna have to do. Wait. Way swift with it. That'll do. Okay. And then basically just like start off with a little swiggle, even though that's literally not where we're starting off with. Big man. Alright. We're gonna start here. Gotta start from the top. Sorry. You have to witness that. If I do this, does it like, oh. I am gonna make it like full screen. It is just kind of gonna be me drawing this video. I'm not gonna be talking much. I'm gonna be watching something while I'm doing this process. So tune in. It is gonna be a long one. If you have any questions, please drop it in the chat. I will read it. I will keep reading it. So any questions, drop it in the chat. I will keep talking also like throughout this process as well. So if you are keen to see me do this, sit back, grab some snacks, grab a freaking beer if you want to, like, have a little garden, yeah, do your thing, and, yeah, jump in. I'm actually not drinking tonight, yeah, I am drawing, but, you never know, I could have a little cheeky beer, nah, I don't know. It is pretty late. But, it's long weekend, so you never know. Little shot. You know. Where can I put this? Where can I, oh, there we are. There we are. If you're interested in stickers at all, I'm selling stickers. They look like these. There is more on the way. Follow Instagram at jugeofficial_ for more details. They're coming soon if you're interested. Yeah. It's gonna be a vibe. Alright, so I am about to pull up. I think I'm gonna watch some like Netflix. Just been like feeling that lately. I watched a really good Netflix series recently, and I finished it recently as well. It's called, I think it was called like Burning Body, and it's like a Mexican show, and it's based on like true events, like something that actually happened. You're so right. Actually, I should do that soon. You're so right. I will add my profile to my profile. Thank you. You're right. Yeah. It's like a Spanish show, and it's based on true events, and it was great. After it, I googled the real people in real life, and there's literally a documentary about the real people in the real life, which is so good because you have like one after the other. So it was like a journey. A journey. I feel like I literally want to add the link to my thing right now because yeah, why haven't I done that? Go to your own profile. There should be a customer. Mine's broken. No, I'm joking. No, it's it somewhere. Not bad. Sick, true. That's cool. That's cool. I actually like that. The panels. I'm gonna do that. That's a good idea. Thank you. Right here. I don't even know my password. Big brain moves. I'm sending it to myself on Messenger. Then I'll save it. Panel should just be an edit panel toggle on your main property. Thank you. Taking a while to load. Copy. Panels should be just an edit panel. Oh. Shit, okay. Okay. That's fine. It's there for now. We've got the main one. I'll do that later. Thank you so much for that. That is legendary. Amazing. Amazing. But yeah, if you want to watch something interesting, watch Burning Body on Netflix. Netflix. Also, by the way, my idea for the drawing is going to be like butterflies, roses, a woman wearing like a mask, masquerade type of theme. I'm just moving my camera so you can see a bit better. Wonderful, I'm still here.
He received a message from Rosa saying, "Let's go to PortAventura with our daughters." A few days earlier, he had given the ring to Rosa, right? Therefore, it looks like April 20th is when they made the choice to embark on the plan to end Pedro's life. This Lycophone is also more significant than it may seem at first. Obviously, this phone isn't very relevant at all without context. But it is relevant, because the phone is only used on two very significant and very important occasions. First, the phone is purchased on April 20th, and just after buying it a few hours later, Mr. Albert goes to an area which is in the vicinity of Ms. Rosa's home. The very same day, Ms. Rosa places a missed call to that phone. But this phone was not actually activated until the night of May 1st. And on the night of May 2nd, he makes 2 missed calls with this phone.
For one thing, the relationship was clearly back on again. And there are a series of incidents, circumstances that do indicate that they were, let's say, plotting something.
Already suspicious of Rosa and Albert, when investigators looked closely at the relationship, they realized that Rosa and Albert had had a frenzied exchange of phone calls. Telephones tell us many things. They can tell us, to start with, the number of calls, the duration of the calls, the fluctuations in communications between people, but in addition, a telephone positions people, the sender and the receiver, where they are at any given time. Therefore, we can place Rosa and Albert together. We can also place Rosa and Albert in the vicinity of Rosa's home on several occasions when Mr. Pedro is not there.
I just left the kids and I'm headed home. Let's see if he leaves soon. I'll let you know.
So it's crazy at the moment, but it's just the process. It's just the process.
And I'll let you know when he leaves.
What catches our attention about the 25th is not only that they see each other, but also the audio messages that she sends him. The shocking thing about these audio messages is the contempt that Rosa shows toward Pedro.
I'll ignore him a little so he'll leave sooner.
I'm asking you, do you think that it is respectful to talk about your partner like that with someone else? Does that seem like an appropriate conversation to have with someone who you want nothing to do with, but yet are still inviting to your home?
It did not seem inappropriate to me because I wanted to get the ring back to him. I'd had it since April 8th and I still hadn't been able to see him to give it back.
Does not matter. Let's be clear. I'm asking you, does that seem like an appropriate way to talk about your partner?
I already told you that I was in a hurry to return the ring, not...
To speed up Mr. Pedro leaving the house, you mean?
I was in a hurry then because I wanted to return the ring to Albert. I wanted to give it back to him as soon as possible. I didn't think there would be another chance to meet him to return it.
It doesn't sound like you had a good relationship with Mr. Pedro. You said every day is a fight.
That day we had an argument or well, I don't know if I would call it an argument. We were just two people who had left their previous relationships with children from different partners.
pardon me for interrupting. Were there fights every day, yes or no?
No.
So then you were lying to your friend Judith.
It's not that I was lying. I might have exaggerated because I was angry.
That specific time frame is like an emotional roller coaster. In other words, we can see that a day or two before the events, Pedro went and declared his undying love for Rosa. But 4 days before that, he had a serious crisis, you know? So it's like this. Let me continue reading. Albert wasn't that nice to all my friends. Then you say, I was very taken with Albert. Your friend says, things between you went south, and now each of you should follow your own path. And you respond, and pay attention to your answer. You never know if he changed his attitude and gave his all. And I wasn't with this other guy. You said that.
Yes.
And you go on. Impossible things are just a little more challenging.
That didn't mean that I wanted to kill him or leave him. I've had thousands of arguments with everyone I've been with. But that doesn't mean that in any relationship there will be many arguments, and also many times when there aren't any. Anyone who tells me that they've never argued with their partner, or that they've never said, look, I just need some space, I'm gonna take a walk and I'll be back later. Anyone who denies that is lying.
We concluded that from April 8th on, they are thinking about what it might be like to get back together. We're convinced of that. We also believe that Rosa somehow indicates to Albert that Pedro is going to be an obstacle in the rekindling of their romantic relationship. This is what we believe. And from the 8th until the end of April, there are about 50 calls between Rosa and Albert. Reciprocal calls. This is very important.
That is not entirely true because although 50 calls were made, only 31 were completed. The others were all missed calls, therefore they did not speak. And on top of that, if the prosecution intended to show the planning of the murder between delivery of the ring on April 8th and the audio recording on April 19th, it then turns out that there were only 4 calls during that time, and those 4 calls only lasted 30 minutes in total, even less, 28 minutes. Therefore, they would have had to have planned the entire murder in those 28 minutes.
Let's see. I believe that the fact that there are 4 calls can be interpreted to mean we're going to do it, but not how we're going to do it. I don't know if I'm making myself clear. In other words, the main takeaway is that the decision was made, but how to execute it. We will never know if that was decided over 1 or 2 calls, or at their meeting on the 25th, or if they met another time in person without their phones.
They also could have communicated over Telegram, which would make accessing the messages impossible. So that might offer an explanation as to why they did not talk again. Why there are no other records.
But the truth is that we can't make assumptions here. In reality, we need to have proof, and therefore the hypothesis of whether they communicated via telegram or by smoke signals or by any other means, or if they met more or less times, is not valid. What counts is the evidence we have, not the evidence we don't have.
The last night that Pedro and I spent together was a really tough night for me. I was having a hard time because my daughters were switching over to their father's house. So Pedro decided to try to cheer me up. We went out to dinner, then we went for a walk on the beach. It doesn't make sense when they talk about the crime being premeditated. Everything the prosecution claimed about planning a murder and so on just doesn't make sense. The night before, we're walking on the beach. We're having dinner and I am disconnected from the world. It just wouldn't make any sense. You know, what happened the following day.
We verified clarified that at 9:37 p.m., Rosa, her children, and Pedro arrived home. How did we know? Thanks to their phones. At this point, it is very important for us to pay close attention to each and every minute that follows, because they're all crucial. At 9:51 p.m., you call Mr. Albert, but it's a missed call.
Yes.
Mr. Albert doesn't answer.
Yes.
Why did you call him?
I had an insane amount of messages from Albert and I wasn't going to read all of them. It was just easier to call him and say, hey, stop texting me.
At 9:53 p.m., she makes a second call to Mr. Albert, which goes through. That is, Mr. Albert answers, and they talk for 4 minutes. I really wish we knew what they had talked about during that call. We would, without a doubt, have a better understanding of what really happened. Keep in mind, I just said 9:53 p.m. Coincidentally, 10 minutes later, 11 minutes to be exact, Mr. Albert activates the famous Leica phone for the first time and calls you, but you don't answer.
The police and the prosecutor have always contended that that phone call was the signal for let's start the plan.
The jury took for granted the premise that Rosa and Albert took the opportunity to kill Pedro while he was asleep or resting.
Pedro was a very strong person. He was a very large person. He would not be easy to knock down physically. And I think that Rosa tried to cover all the bases, you know? They gave him a drug to slow him down, right? Half asleep, half conscious. As a result, he does not have the capacity to react and to defend himself when Albert arrives. And I believe Albert is the person who actively participated in Pedro's death.
This argument is presented based primarily on the testimony of Antonia. Antonia is Rosa's ex-husband Ruben's new partner.
Is it true that in your contacts, Ms. Antonia, Mr. Ruben's partner,
I feel like it's like the
is
height of my
listed
desk.
under
It's
the
like
name
really
Antonia
throwing me off.
Finch?
Like,
Yes, I've had a very bad relationship with her. Very bad.
And Antonia is the one who explains that Rosa's eldest daughter made a series of statements that supported Rosa's active role in the crime.
Since Rosa's eldest daughter was a minor during the investigation, she was assigned a guardian by the court who decided that since the girl had the right not to testify against her mother, she would not have to testify during the trial.
There's another thing that I would also like to clarify, because it's been said on TV shows and publications, and there's been a lot of confusion. Many people say even her daughters said they saw her, or her daughters said, no, my daughters have not said anything because my daughters have not seen anything. And I really want to make that very clear. Make no mistake, my daughters have not seen anything, but my ex-husband's wife, Antonia, well, Antonia appeared to testify.
When? And how? Also, I need you to say it word for word, not your interpretation, but the exact words that the minor used when she told you about the incident that she witnessed. Wait a minute.
Look.
Please, stop. No, please stop.
At that moment, the judge interrupted. Because if it had already been decided that Rosa's daughter would not be testifying, then her indirect testimony through the person to whom she innocently confessed would not be allowed either. Because really, it's a way of circumventing her choice not to testify.
We cannot allow a proxy witness to circumvent the right of a minor not to testify. I'm very sorry.
Then I asked if they would allow Antonia to describe how Rosa's daughter moved when she was imitating Pedro.
Well, the mom, she was like carrying titis down the stairs.
Your Honor, I object.
No, you cannot speak.
No, don't talk.
Act it out.
Show us what the girl did.
Okay.
While she was miming, which was actually more of a performance, she was also talking.
Of course, if she had only mimed without talking, it wouldn't have added anything to the trial.
He was like a robot. Arms hanging like this, like a robot.
What? Sorry, we can't hear you well. You're too far from the microphone. Get closer to the mic.
I'll sit down, okay?
By allowing Antonia to mime the behavior, but without the without a commentary, without the actions being described verbally. Well, it looked like a silent movie, you know? And the truth is that even though it was a very serious and tragic topic, it was a little funny. That was an impersonation of Titi. So we understand by Titi, you mean Mr. Pedro. Was the girl referring to a particular day?
To the day of the events.
Okay, I have no more questions.
Thank you so much. Defense counsel?
With all due respect, how do you know it was the day of the events? What events?
Because she told me. Because I know.
Your Honor,
because she told me.
With all due respect,
Enough.
I must point out a contradiction with what the witness said in her previous statements.
Enough. I cannot allow it. That's why it cannot be admitted.
Of course, but that is why the
No.
witness's spoken testimony cannot be allowed.
The jury will ignore the statements just made by the witness.
Don't pay attention to her words, just to her actions. As a result, the jury should have only interpreted her gestures and should have ignored what was said, but they heard it.
It was true that the jury heeded the judge's warning and did not make the slightest reference to words uttered by the witness. It's true.
In the verdict, the jury said she lowered him like a robot, and that was the proof that Rosa drugged Pedro.
That was what put me in prison. I repeat, my daughters have never said anything, nor will they ever say anything, because they saw absolutely nothing. Okay? So then don't treat Antonia's statement as if it's the truth, as if it is an established fact, because she's a woman who I never got along with. So logically, she exploited the situation and thought, now it's my chance to screw her over.
I can't even
You
see
understand?
what I'm doing, bro.
I don't
It's
really
just
know
like
if she
so
ever considered
hard.
the
Like I
consequences
need
of
like a
making those
little
statements.
like
She won't
thing.
change her testimony
I need a
now
high
because
chair.
she's been told, if you do that, you'll perjure yourself and you'll go to prison.
Ms. Rosa's big mistake was keeping Mr. Pedro's cell phone with her, in her house. The strategy used by the defendants was to fake periods of activity by Mr. Pedro, okay? How did they do that? Well, for example, messages were sent between Rosa and supposedly Pedro.
They admitted to this, that they took Pedro's cell phone. They parked Pedro's car near the house, where Ruben lived at the time, then pretended that Pedro had approached Ruben's house, thus implying that Ruben had killed him.
At 9:50 p.m., when Pedro says he's turning off his phone, the cell GPS locates him in the vicinity of Ruben's house. Is that correct?
Yes, that's right. As soon as we arrived at Ruben's house, Pedro told me to send those messages. That was when I began to wonder what he might have done to Pedro, or if they had argued, if he had hit him or threatened him or whatever, and now he was trying to involve Ruben.
Ms. Rosa, after turning off Pedro's phone near Ruben's house, what did you do?
After that, he drove me back to my house, and that's when he gave me Pedro's car keys.
So you drove Pedro's car and Albert drove his, is that right?
That's right. I followed him. Albert drove his car, and I followed behind with Pedro's car.
You were alone in the car. You could have gone to a police station, called someone, but for some reason you decided against that and followed Albert.
If I had taken off in the car, I would have had to have driven like I was in a race, managed to get to a police station, and been immediately believed. That is what I would have had to have done.
Rosa, you're a police officer,
Yes,
right?
exactly. That's why I thought that way. All those thoughts raced through my mind, of course. But by the time I would have reached a police station, he would have driven back to my house.
So you followed Albert. How long did it take to arrive? Did you go straight to the reservoir?
Yes, he knew perfectly well where he was going. He knew the exact destination where he was headed. He used his turn signal. He seemed sure. I was thinking, what should I do now? I stayed very still, waiting, motionless, just like the day before. I didn't know how to react. I didn't know what to do. I couldn't just take the car and leave. I couldn't do that. All I could do was just stay there, frozen, and watch him approach me with gas cans. I have it etched in my memory. He opened the car door and took out 2 cans. I remember they were big and red, and I thought, oh my gosh, that looks like gasoline. As he approached me, I wondered if he was going to pour the gas over me. If that happens, I can run as fast as I want, but if he throws one match at me, then I'm done for. I ran for it, hoping to escape being splashed with the gasoline. I dropped some things as I was running, but I never stopped to pick them up. I didn't even look back once, because all I could think about was just running away from him, and that he might shoot me in the back while I was running.
And then she began to walk along the road, but Albert approached with his car and told her, "Get in. If you don't, I'll get to your daughters before you do." For Rosa's defense, it was a crucial argument.
I need to hurry up. I
that her
keep
keys were so close to the road because that placed them very far from the car, and therefore that supported her version
Good question.
of the events. That she
Oh, thank
ran up to the
you.
road and the keys fell out of her pocket, or
Honestly,
she still had
it's
them in her hand
the
when she
baby.
ran away.
I do like the baby. He is a good artist. I do listen to him, but like,
Point of view, it was
it-
just not relevant that the
it just became a nickname. Like, people would just call me just a baby. Like, they would. It just, I don't know. It just was a thing, and then like. Then it was just a thing, and then I made it my Instagram name, and then everyone started calling me it, and yeah, that's where it came from. But I do like trap music. Like, I think that was just like the way it came into it. What accent were you expecting? What were you expecting? Let me know. Honestly, I've had people tell me that, well, I sound Kiwi, actually. True American. What accent? Do you know what I am? Do you know what accent I have? Guess. Oh, is American your guess? I'm not American, no. I'm not American. Oh. But yeah, I've had people tell me I look, and sound New Zealand, Macedonian, Greek. Yeah, I'm Australian. Yeah. Nice guess. On the money right there, mate. On the money. On the money. Whereabouts are you from? It is like really early in the morning right now. Like 2:30. Oh, yo. I would love to visit there one day. I've actually literally never seen snow before. It sounds crazy, but yeah, I've literally never seen snow. I was born in Sydney, which is like not where I am right now. And it snows where I was born, but I've just never seen it. And I really want to go. I want to go on like one of those snow like over the top glider things. I don't even know what it's called. I guess like the snow lift. We'll go with that. The snow lift. I really need to pull up some Australia does have scary animals. I'm really scared of kangaroos. Like, I know it's really normal in Australia to like go to the zoo or just like go outside and like go up to the kangaroos and like pat them and everything. I personally could never. I don't know if you've seen like boxing kangaroo videos or not, but there are some scary kangaroos out there. Yeah, well, kangaroos just like walk around. Like, I like went out the other day with a friend, and like there was kangaroos all around us, and I was like, oh, I'm scared. Yeah, that'd be nuts. They are pretty intense. I've seen crocodiles in real life, not near me. At the zoo, Australia Zoo, which was fun. I don't know if you've heard of like Bindi Irwin and Terry Irwin and everything, like Steve Irwin. I met them when I was younger. Big achievement right there. Where are these butterflies at? Yeah, facts. R.I.P. R.I.P.Z. R.I.P.Z. But literally one time, this was a few months ago, my bed broke. So I took my bed apart, threw it away. I was sleeping like on the floor, like on a mattress. Anyways, I was just chilling one time, laying on my mattress as I do on my phone, and then out of the corner of my eye, I see something move. I was like, I swear I just saw something. And I have dogs, so I was like, maybe it's the dog. So then I just like looked away. And I saw it again, and I was like, I swear I just saw something, and like my dogs weren't there. So I was like, okay. And then I get up, I go have a look, I walk into my bathroom, freaking blue tongue lizard, like this big, like flapping around in the bathroom. I'm not even joking. And I was freaking out because I was like, imagine if I didn't just see that just then. Like I was just about to go to sleep. I was going to go to sleep with my door open, and like the blue tongue lizard could have easily like run over to me. Like, it's crazy out here. And the toads that come into my backyard are insane. I am unfortunately the toad warrior around this joint. I have to be the one that gets them and chucks them over the fence, because everyone in this house like will not do it, unfortunately. So yeah, I'm the one that is controlling that little situation there. Honestly, we're getting there. Y'all, thank you for the love on the art. Appreciate it. By the way, I am selling stickers. This is what one of them looks like. This is the special edition one. If you are interested, I am starting up my website soon. I have put a link on my Twitch if you're interested in my art. JujeOfficial _JUJE.official_ if you want to see more. But yeah, today's stream is just a light draw. I was watching some Netflix before and just like chat with you guys, see how you guys are going. And also it's a bit of like a therapy for me, honestly, just talking and drawing. Honestly, no, my sleeping schedule is like out of whack. I've had like a few days off, so yeah, I've been like staying up all night basically, drawing. I'm on a bit of like a crunch at the moment. I'm having time off of work in order to do this, so nah, I'm not. But I might go to bed in like an hour and a half or so. See how it goes, see what the vibe is. But it is pretty late at night time, I won't lie. I do, I have an Instagram. It's called JujeOfficial _JUJE .official_. And so it's also linked in my Twitch file as well. I do want to start my website, which will be very soon. It'll happen in the next couple of weeks or so. I'm just waiting for the last part of my stickers to come, because I want to sell it as kind of like a pack type of thing. So yeah, if you're interested, please follow my Instagram, stay tuned, the website will be up soon, and yeah, I'll be posting all of the stickers there for you to purchase. They're waterproof, they're durable. As I showed you before, we've got the limited edition ones, and also we've got like my design ones with the rectangles. They're really sick. Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah, it's pretty late there. Yeah, it's literally, it's 2:35 a.m. in the morning right now, so it's pretty early. It is Friday right now. Yeah, it was just the 1st of May, so yeah, pinch and a punch for yesterday, everyone. Pinch and a punch for yesterday, May Day. Can't believe it's already May, honestly, the 5th month of the year. Yeah, bad. Literally. Time literally flies, like it really does. I feel like the whole month of April absolutely flew by. It was craziness. My goal for the month was to eat some oysters and have some wine, and that was completed. I did do that. I did end up doing that. They weren't fresh prawns, it was Kilpatrick, but hey, I'll take it. It's a win. A win's a win. A win is a win. But I actually really want to catch a flight somewhere. Like, I want to go to Melbourne in Australia, just to like stay there for a night, do some shopping. I literally haven't taken a flight since I was like 6, and I've literally developed a fear of heights like since. I should have a full bottle of alcohol. No, honestly, if you asked me like an hour ago, I might have said yes, but like I could do a couple shots, but I'm lazy. I've also never been on a plane. Actually, I'm lying. I have been on a plane, but I'm scared of planes. Like, I've developed a fear of planes and heights. Like, it makes me nervous to travel, and it is such like a big goal of mine is to go traveling and do all of that. Yeah. Exactly. But yeah, I really do want to go traveling. Yeah, I keep envisioning going to Melbourne like by myself and just like getting over this fear, because it's so silly. Like, I guess it's just something that I've developed from not doing it for a really long time, and then I guess just like thinking about it so much, it's just like, and also just like air crash investigations, like if you've seen like that show, like, guys, like, I'm scared, like, and there's no parachutes, like, oh, imagine, like, I want to go to Japan, but it's like, bruh, yeah, I'm afraid of the ocean as well. You don't know what's out there, like, big whales, we know there's whales, but, like, sea creatures, like, just imagine, there's so many things that could go wrong. You're so high in the sky, and I know that it's safer to be in an aeroplane than in a car. Like, I've definitely heard that, which I do try to keep in mind, but it's just like, there is so much that could go wrong. Like, you're so high up in the sky. Like, I just feel like it's safer to be, like, on the ground. You know what I mean? Like, in control, like, low-key, like... Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay, right now I'm just filling like the top of her head with some butterflies. I do want to add some like roses and flowers into it as well. Do a bit of that. And also, when I go to Melbourne, I just really want to like, I want to stay at a hotel that has some kind of buffet. Like, I love buffet food, and I could constantly eat it all day, every day, non-stop if I really could. Like, eggs, bacon, hash brown, avo, English muffin, little sausage, mushrooms, like little orange. Oh my god, I have oranges. I should literally have an orange. But you know what I mean, like, yeah. Yeah. Oh, that butterfly was a bit rocky. Basically just a hobby. I have a full-time job. I do work from home though, which is really good. I work from home 3 days a week, and then I go into the office twice a week, so it's pretty good, and like I get time to draw, and I even draw at work sometimes, like on my lunch break, and then like outside of work I draw. Sometimes I don't get much sleep because of drawing and art. Like, I also Diamante things as well. Like, I have a lot of hobbies, but drawing is one of my main ones. But yeah, it can be a little bit hard to fit in sleep, work, even gym, time with family, time with friends, time with yourself. Like, yeah. But we get in there. And that's why, like, I've had some time off of work recently as well, because I just needed to lock in for a bit, enjoy the nights, like, not wake up so, like, just tired. But that's the thing with, like, art and doing, like, external hobbies and things like that, and having passions. Like, you have to put the work and the time in to get an outcome and to be successful. Oh, nice. What are you studying in uni? I'm currently not in uni, but debating to go to uni, which I've always... Computer science. Oh, that's sick. That's really cool. That's a good industry to get into, really good skills to learn. I have a PC, but I don't know everything, not science, but it would be cool to learn about how all that stuff works. Okay, I need to get a photo of a rose. Oops. Always good to have, like, a reference photo. No harm. Because roses are tricky to draw sometimes. Okay. That's perfect. Alrighty. I literally had buldak ramen noodles before. If I'd go to uni, what would I want to study? Honestly, visual arts. I would love to learn everything that I can about visual art. I would do, like, sound engineering, even, like, that, and, like, that's so broad too, because, you know, you could do, like DJing, like, sound production, like, music production, like that, but it even, like, goes for, like, stage management and things like that, which would be cool. Like, you could work with artists, with them on tours and things like that, and help them with the sound, which I think would be sick. I love music and sound, so that's like a secondary passion as well. I think psychology would be really something that would be like, I would love to learn about that, at uni. It's not like on my big ones there, but it would just be so interesting. I also would love to be a nurse. Like, I just think it would be so fulfilling for my soul, and I think I would be really good at it, but I don't know, it's highly unlikely of me doing that, just because, like, I know there's different ways to get that kind of income, and you don't have to put yourself, like, through that and endure that, because it can be really mentally draining being a nurse. Like, there are some really good incentives with the job and everything, and especially with, like, maternity leave and stuff. Like, if you are trying to have a family, fuck, that's too big, trying to have a family in that sense, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe I should just, like, yeah, I'll do some of these. These are like my signature flower that I do. You start off with a circle, and then you do 4 petals, and then you do another 4 petals, and then another 4 petals, and yeah, if that makes sense. Oh, and another 4 petals. Add as many as you want to put in. More petals the better. More definition the better. Never hurt nobody. Nobody hurt no one. Wanna on your body, Okay.
That the keys of the vehicle were on the road near the scene of the crime. Because we believe that the 2 suspects had gone voluntarily to the reservoir. It's an established fact that they needed to use 2 cars to drive to the reservoir. Let's move on, Miss Rosa. So you get in the car, and where do you go?
That was when he drove me back home. He told me to say absolutely nothing to anyone. I said, I'm not going to report you for the car. I don't care. A car's a car. It doesn't matter. I don't care. Just leave me alone. All I want is for you to leave me alone.
In order for Rosa's version of events to be plausible, you have to believe the insurmountable fear she suffered. If you believe that Rosa was so terrified of Albert, then everything else fits.
I'm scared. The next day I didn't dare say anything. I was quiet for 2 days. I was in shock, completely overwhelmed. But day 3, day 4, day 5, day 6, day 7, day 8, when you've had time to react, when many people are helping you, when you already know that the Homicide Task Force is investigating the case, and that they will certainly protect you.
She has been judged for her behavior after the fact, but there's no proof of what happened that day, right? Like I said before, whether she cries or doesn't cry, whether she didn't report it or does, If you understand that she was terrified that Albert might do something to her, or even worse, to her daughters, who are the ones she loves the most, then you understand her resulting behavior.
Where is it written? How and what is fear? What is fear? If she says that she had an insurmountable fear, can anyone, based on objective data, question that Rosa Perel has no right to be afraid or to feel that fear?
Rosa's biggest fear wasn't what would happen to her or her parents. Her biggest fear was for her daughters. In my opinion, everything she did was to protect her daughters, which no one appreciates.
You know something? Back then, what concerned me most, more than anything else, was keeping my children safe, keeping them out of harm's way, keeping them alive, because the real danger was Albert. I weighed the sentence I would receive for staying silent against the knowledge that my family would be protected from harm. You know? But this has led to confusion, with everyone offering their opinions, and of course they're intrigued because the initial investigation started with me. I was the first person of interest. After that, everything snowballed.
A few years have passed. There have been books written, TV series shot, etc., etc. But there are still many unanswered questions. And each of us has an interpretation of what happened in this case.
Although not always successful, justice helped to clarify and to explain this case. But in the end, who are the guilty parties and who are the victims?
Where is the plan? When was the plan formalized? What was the plan? Whose idea was the plan? If it's proven irrefutably, Rosa Perel and Albert Lopez can say whatever they want. They're guilty, but when it can't be proven, when it's only suspected that something happened and there's no proof, none of this makes sense. Come on.
Most people interpret crime through a narrative lens, and fiction at its core tells a story. It's a narrative retelling of what has happened, the events that took place, why the characters did what they did, what motivated them. Reality, though, is very different.
I'm convinced of the truth when a person has such consistent and thorough answers and remembers so many particular details. And that's what made me believe her story. Because if a person is really lying to you, there are parts where there are gaps without an explanation.
The whole story characterizing Rosa as that evil, bloodthirsty woman was built, from my point of view, based on questions from the public prosecutor. And also because of the constant coverage week after week in the media.
We probably overdid it. Because Rosa's character, Rosa's persona, could manipulate your perception of her, and it was very easy to be seduced.
Honestly, I don't lose any sleep over how I did my job. Yes, it's true that when there's a lot of media attention, it can influence a trial's outcome, to a certain extent.
All the garbage they said, all of it, is horrendous. They didn't know her at all. All she ever wanted was to be beautiful, to have a good body, and if she felt like it, to sleep with whoever she wanted.
Rosa lives in an alternate reality. Different rules apply to her than to the rest of us. To me, that is, she can be very persuasive and charming. That is, she's like a con artist trying to sell you a remedy for hair growth, which is only made of soap and water. I'll tell you one thing. If you spent 2 or 3 hours with Rosa, she would be capable of convincing you that you are the one who killed Pedro. That is Miss Rosa Perel.
It's been a long, long time, and I wish I could have a real conversation with my daughters, really spend time with them. I'd really like to know if they have any doubts. When I talk to them, I'll tell them, look, if you really have any doubts about anything, it might be good for you to hear all sides to gather as much information as possible. Maybe they don't feel like they need to find out more. Maybe tomorrow they'll just say, my mother has always said that she is innocent. Maybe they don't even need to hear an explanation. I can only hope that they keep me in their thoughts. And that they share their plans for the future with me, you know? I feel very present in their lives, more than I would have imagined. I'm gonna be cut off. Wait, the call is gonna drop.
Oh, that was so interesting. I finished my little series I was watching. It was like the documentary series after.
We are monsters.
Excuse me,
All of us
buddy.
monsters. Our Ian is going to be
Really
blindsided
good.
in front of her dad.
Oh,
Our old
so
youth pastor
freaking
from
loud.
Utica.
Calm down.
On our hands, letting it happen.
What? Like what? I'm not gonna even lie, chat. I feel like I should just go to sleep. Like, I'm actually kind of tired. Like, it is late. Like, you're right. Like, maybe I need to sleep. I can finish this tomorrow. It's already starting to come to life. Just exciting. We've got some butterflies. We've got flowers. Like a little rose in the middle. Oh yeah, okay, alright, I think I will leave it for tonight. Well, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for chatting with me tonight, guys. I hope everyone has an amazing night and an amazing day. Stay tuned for more videos. Please make sure, I think you did join up, so thank you so much for that. Come join me on this journey for the next few weeks. I'm going to be streaming every single night, so tune in tomorrow night. It'll be 10 p.m. my time, so like, I don't know what time your guys' time, your time, so make sure you tune in 10 p.m. Australia every single night. Alrighty, so thank you so much for watching, and yeah, I'll be finishing this off tomorrow. Thank you so much for watching. You have an amazing night, and I'll see you guys in the next stream. Bye.